There comes a point in life when you realize something uncomfortable. Most of the things that exhaust you, break you, or haunt your mind are things you never had control over in the first place, yet you carry them as if they were yours to fix. Expectations from people who never understood you, outcomes that didn't unfold the way you hoped, situations that twisted themselves into something you never intended, and the more you try to hold on, the heavier everything becomes. Stoicism teaches a profound truth, one that sounds simple but feels incredibly hard to live by. Your peace depends not on controlling the world, but on releasing the illusion that you should. And in this video we are going on a journey into detachment, not coldness, not indifference, not shutting down emotionally, but the kind of detachment that allows the heart to breathe again. Imagine standing at the shore with both hands tightly gripping a rope. On the other end of that rope is a storm pulling you into the waves. Regret, fear, ego, expectations, resentment, broken attachments, the desire to control how life unfolds. Your hands burn, your shoulders ache, and every part of you insists that letting go means losing. But the Stoics would tell you something different. Sometimes the only way to survive the storm is to release the rope altogether. In this video, we will explore how to detach from the uncontrollable through stories, ancient wisdom, and practical reflection. Not to become emotionless, but to become emotionally free. Not to escape life, but to finally meet it with clarity, courage, and calm strength. Let's begin. Most suffering begins with a misunderstanding, the belief that life should respond to our desires simply because we want it to. But the world is not obligated to move in the direction of our plans. People don't always behave the way we wish. Events don't always unfold the way we imagined, and yet we cling to outcomes as if our grip alone can force them into place. The Stoics saw this illusion clearly. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." A simple line, but one that separates peace from misery. The moment you confuse these two categories, you begin to drown in unnecessary pain. You start trying to control people's opinions. You try to shape the behavior of someone who has no intention of changing. You fight battles inside your mind that have no real opponent outside. Detachment begins when you stop arguing with reality. Think of the last time you replayed a conversation long after it ended, wishing you had spoken differently, or the last time you feared a future that hasn't even arrived. These moments feel so real, yet they live only inside your imagination. You are wrestling with shadows. The truth is, you can influence actions but not outcomes. You can offer kindness but not guarantee appreciation. You can give effort but not predict success. And when you accept this boundary, not as a restriction but as a form of liberation, your mind begins to quiet. Imagine a man standing in front of a locked door, pushing with all his strength day after day. He believes that with enough force, the door must eventually open. But the Stoic understands something he doesn't. Your energy is precious. Don't waste it on doors that are not meant for you. The moment you step back, the world opens elsewhere. There is an old story about a man who inherited a beautiful vase from his grandmother. It wasn't expensive, but it carried memories he cherished deeply. One morning, while cleaning, the vase slipped from his hands and shattered on the floor. The sound pierced the quiet room. He froze, his heart sank. He knelt down, gathering the fragments, feeling a mixture of guilt, sadness, and anger. Why wasn't he more careful? Why did this happen today? Why did something so meaningful break so easily? For hours he sat on the floor trying to fit the pieces back together, cutting his fingers on the sharp edges. And the more he tried, the more he realized that the vase could never return to what it was. His anger grew, not because it broke, but because he couldn't accept that it had broken. Later that evening, an elderly neighbor saw him troubled and asked what had happened. After hearing the story, she smiled softly and said, "My dear, life breaks things. Our suffering begins when we insist they must stay unbroken. This moment is the essence of detachment. We suffer not because events occur, but because we refuse to let them be what they are. We cling to what once was. We cling to how we wish things had gone. We cling to the story in our mind long after life has written a different version. The broken vase teaches us something powerful. Grief is natural, but attachment to the past is optional. The Stoics never said you shouldn't feel sadness. They simply said you shouldn't hand your peace over to things that cannot remain. Let the vase be broken. Let life be life, and allow yourself to step into the next moment without dragging the last one behind you. Many people misunderstand detachment, imagining it means suppressing emotions or becoming numb. But true Stoic detachment is not avoidance. It is awareness. It is the strength to feel deeply without collapsing under the weight of what you feel. It is the ability to allow emotions to visit without giving them permanent residence. Avoidance pushes emotions away. Detachment lets them pass through. Picture your mind as a room with many windows. When fear arrives, avoidance tries to shut the window tightly so the fear cannot enter. But fear always finds cracks. It leaks through, it accumulates. Detachment, on the other hand, opens every window, allowing emotions to move freely. They come in, you observe them, you let them leave. This requires courage. It's easy to distract yourself. It's easy to bury pain beneath work, entertainment, or noise. But detachment asks you to sit in silence and witness your inner storms without running away. To understand that emotions are not enemies, they are signals. Sadness shows what mattered. Anger reveals where your boundaries were crossed. Fear highlights uncertainty, but none of these emotions require you to lose yourself in them. Stoics didn't seek to delete emotions. They sought to master their response. Imagine someone insults you. Avoidance might pretend it didn't hurt. Reactivity might lash out immediately. Detachment takes a slow breath, notices the sting, and chooses a response aligned with your values, not your impulses. This is emotional maturity. This is inner freedom. Detachment frees you to act with intention. It prevents others from controlling your mood. It keeps your peace in your own hands rather than handing it to every person who crosses your path. You don't detach to feel less. You detach so that your feelings don't imprison you. Letting go is one of the most courageous acts a human can perform. It demands strength to release what feels familiar, even when that familiarity hurts. It asks you to trust life without having guarantees. And it challenges the illusion that holding tightly is the same as caring deeply. But letting go is not abandonment. It is alignment. It is choosing to stop fighting forces you cannot bend. It is stepping away from resistance and stepping toward inner clarity. Think of a river. If you stand in the middle trying to push the water backward, you exhaust yourself and the river keeps flowing. But if you step aside, the river continues its path while you save your strength for something meaningful. Stoic letting go works the same way. You let go of people who walk away, not because you lack love, but because clinging to them would betray your own growth. You let go of mistakes, not because you forget, but because the past cannot be edited. You let go of outcomes, not because you are indifferent, but because your role was effort, not control. Letting go is a declaration of self-respect. It is telling yourself, I deserve peace more than I deserve to win every battle. It is acknowledging that sometimes closure is not given by others. It is created within you. The world may not hand you perfect endings, but you can choose not to carry unfinished stories forever. And here's the secret the Stoics understood. When you let go of what drains you, life replaces it with what aligns with your strength. You create space for new relationships, better opportunities, clearer thoughts, and a steadier heart. The moment you stop forcing life to be what you wish, it reveals what it truly is, and often that truth frees you more than your expectations ever could. Stoicism simplifies the complexity of life into two circles. Circle 1, what you can control. Circle 2, everything else. The tragedy is that most people spend their entire lives trapped in the second circle. They obsess over unanswered messages, unpredictable people, outcomes of decisions, memories that can't be undone, and futures that can't be predicted. Their energy scatters in every direction except where it actually matters. Detachment begins when you commit to living inside the first circle. Inside that circle lives your effort, your mindset, your discipline, your purpose, your reactions, your choices, and your character. These are the things that shape your destiny. These are the things the Stoics considered your true power. Everything outside that circle, people's judgments, fate, past events, timing, circumstances, is noise. And when you build your peace on noise, you live at the mercy of everything around you. Imagine two ships at sea. One captain adjusts the sails to the winds. The other curses the storm, shouting at the sky, demanding the winds change. Which ship survives? Which one maintains direction? The winds represent everything outside your control. Your sails represent everything within it. When you detach from the second circle, you stop wasting emotional energy on storms you cannot command. You stop trying to fix people who do not want to change. You stop taking responsibility for things that were never yours. Instead, you become the captain who adjusts the sails, calm, deliberate, steady. Life becomes less about forcing and more about navigating, and suddenly clarity returns, the noise fades, the path becomes visible. You discover that peace was never found in controlling life. It was found in controlling yourself. Detachment is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming untouchable in the best possible way. It means the world can shake, but you don't collapse. People can disappoint you, but you don't crumble. The future can be uncertain, but you don't lose your center. Imagine walking through life with a quiet flame inside you, a flame that cannot be extinguished by external chaos. That flame is your inner stability. Stoics didn't aim to eliminate emotion. They aimed to prevent emotion from becoming a tyrant. When you detach, something incredible happens. You begin to choose your inner world instead of reacting to the outer one. You stop absorbing other people's moods. You stop drowning in expectations. You stop handing yourself worth to anyone who happens to cross your path. Your calm becomes your armor, not a wall, but a grounded presence that others can feel. People often mistake this for being distant, but detachment doesn't make you distant. It makes you difficult to manipulate. It makes you slow to anger, harder to provoke, and easier to trust. It makes you act based on principle rather than impulse. And here is the profound truth. When you detach, you become more compassionate, not less. You understand people more clearly because you're not entangled in their emotional storms. You see situations realistically because you're no longer blinded by fear or desire. You become untouchable not by hiding from the world, but by mastering your response to it. This is the strength of Stoicism. This is the power of inner control. And once you taste this calm, this deeper self-governance, you never want to return to the old version of yourself, the one who reacted to everything, the one who sought validation, the one who depended on outcomes to feel whole. Detachment makes you whole on your own. Detachment is not a one-time realization. It is a daily practice, a discipline, a way of living. So how do you begin? First, pause before reacting. When something triggers you, breathe. Create a moment of awareness. That single pause is the birthplace of control. Second, ask the Stoic question: is this under my control or not? If not, release it mentally before it drains your emotional strength. Third, practice letting go physically. Clean your environment, donate something you don't need, delete a message you keep rereading. Physical detachment strengthens emotional detachment. Fourth, journal your thoughts in the evening. Separate what you influenced from what influenced you. You will see clearly how much peace you've been giving away. Fifth, meditate on impermanence. Everything you love, everything you fear, everything you cling to, it will all shift with time. This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to free you. When you accept impermanence, you stop gripping life with fear and begin experiencing it with presence. Finally, choose your inner world every morning. Before stepping into the day, remind yourself, I control my response, I control my effort, I control my perspective. This is the foundation of Stoic freedom. The more you practice detachment, the more life opens. Opportunities feel lighter, relationships feel healthier, your purpose strengthens, your peace deepens. You stop chasing control and start cultivating clarity. And one day, almost without noticing, you look back at your journey and realize something extraordinary. You didn't detach to escape life, you detached to finally live it.